Dummy switch pod. The boys are
Yes,
back. How are you, Chris?
sir. Oh, quarters. I'm good. I'm good. Coming at you from an undisclosed location. So, yeah, man, I'm good after the weekend. So, hey.
The Dan Carters of podcasting here to give you
Hmm.
our opinions, our rugby takes, and of course, give us your takes in the comments below.
The
Before we
thugs
get
of
into
rugby. The thugs of rugby.
hey, my Pimpio is being labeled as a thug this week. I don't know what's going on, man. You know who the real thugs of rugby are? The real thugs of
Yeah.
rugby are the Sharks, because I heard that they're coming for Edwin van der Merwe. Those are the real thugs of
There's,
rugby. If they
no,
steal
no,
one more
no.
player, huh?
We know what we like. We know what we want, So don't leave us alone with that. Leave us alone with
It's
that.
only Edwin that we want. It's only
It's
Edwin.
only Edward. You'll give me. You'll give me. You'll give
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think let's go straight into Bulls versus Lions.
Yeah.
Just background to that game. No low, no Nohamba, free Nohamba, hashtag free Nohamba. Obviously
Free no harm.
because of the contract situation. And to me,
Mm.
I mean, it's it's a shame because these guys, both of them could have added value to this team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nohamba, without a doubt. Low, I know there's some people that prefer Jonker to him. Jonker obviously a more of a playmaker. Low, more of a physical, bash it up in the center. But
Yeah.
and he was the captain, so you're gonna get benefit from both of them, whether he's on the bench or not.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, that's just the story coming into the game. The game itself, Bulls just had they had too much. They had too much on the bench. They had too much in terms of personnel. And on the opposite side, the Lions just don't have enough. We don't have the players. We don't have the. I don't think we don't have the game plan. I don't think we have. Nohamba suited the game plan. I don't know if
Yeah.
Sam Francis is the type of fly half that suits the game plan.
Mm.
So in the end, it was a bit of a dogfight, but the Bulls got over.
Yeah, but I think really, especially in the first half, the Lions they missed the opportunity because for at a moment, at a point, it looked like the Bulls were looking gassed. In that first half,
Yeah,
around the 30-minute mark, they were looking the more gassed team. But then once that momentum shift, as soon as they got that score, then it was just difficult for the Lions to get a hold on the game again, and the Bulls just started taking it
yeah,
away, which is, I won't lie, I was disappointed, honestly, and yes, that game, looking at it and, watching it, and then, looking at it in hindsight, definitely a Nohamba, I think would have made a big difference. And also low because not to be too critical, I don't think Yonka had the same impact that he had the week before.
yeah.
With ball in hand, they shut him up shut him down pretty well. To the Bulls, and yeah, look, Sam Francis is still a youngster, but he seems a bit more. He's more technical. He doesn't seem. He doesn't have the same spark as an Ohamba
Yeah.
would, as we've seen the Lions have, So yeah, look, I think they'll be very disappointed. In that, I think it was an opportunity really to to really put the Bulls away, and stake a claim. And it's just unfortunate because at a point, even from 2024 leading up to 2025, the Lions were looking like they could be a team that does something,
Yeah.
and runs deep. But now it's almost like it's slowly regressing,
Yeah,
and
it's coming.
yeah.
It looks like it's coming to the end of this cycle of
Mm,
players. It looks like it's they've developed them, they've become box, and where you're supposed to push on now, maybe add a few guys to your squad and go deeper into the tournament. We're now talking knockout stages and that. It's
yeah.
like it's the end of the cycle and it's start again. We're gonna lose Nohamba,
Yeah.
we're gonna lose Low. Rumors of Edwell, but rumors are just rumors. I'm not taking that one too seriously, but we'll
Mm,
see. You probably are going to lose more players. So it's like the beginning of a cycle all over again. It's going to be
yeah.
Sam Francis. They're going to bring in Niku Stain. They're going to so it's frustrating as a supporter. The game as well. There was times where we got ourselves back in the game, and then two bad restarts
Yeah.
essentially sealed it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and again, it's once the Bulls those waves of attack, especially starting in the 22, it's over. It's a wrap. So And I mean, the thing is, there were points, cause Nokia got injured, Ulrich Lowe, terrible injury, Hanekom got injured, and then he came back on. I
Yeah,
don't. It was unconstitutional, that one. That
yeah,
one they just played him. I'm sure he failed the HIA, but they're just like, no, just go. We can't lose. We can't lose. So I'm sure that they just put him on.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say beyond that. Even the thing about the Bulls bench is you get a guy like Moody coming on, you get a guy like Leroux coming on. So you're under even
mm,
more pressure in those situations.
yeah. And look, take nothing away from the Bulls, because they have, and then they started, showing intent, and you might say, um, blessing in disguise that Vili came on, because they started looking a bit uh, more lethal with him,
Yeah,
running the show there at 10, and Mr. For me, Mr. Consistent for the Bulls this whole season, Ambrose Pepri, maybe for the past 2 seasons, you could even argue,
yeah,
he's just been there with that tempo. But then, you know, you look at even guys like they Springboks guys stepped up, like the Gerard Steenekamp. I think that one break, that work rate, where he turned over the ball, you know,
yeah. Where
on a
Buta found
different day.
space in behind there. I think
Yeah,
it was from a Steenekamp turnover.
yeah. On a different day, the Lions they make that break, they cut them apart, momentum, and yeah, it's happy go Lions, but it wasn't to be, on the weekend. But yeah, I mean, the opportunity was there, especially when the Bulls lost guys early, and
Yeah,
the Lions just failed to capitalize on it. And you have to ask the questions, in terms of, yes, they've built that blueprint, they've gotten to a certain point, but then why you have to, you're at home, you're at home, the opportunities there, but it's
yeah.
just the decision making from the top down. I think that's what's killing them right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And even when you look at the guys that they brought on, bringing Lombard on, bringing Russ on, who got smoked
Mm.
by Moody,
Oof.
it's these are guys that they're almost from the last cycle. Lombard came, he was a guy, then he went away. Russ also, he looked like he was going to be a guy, but then Similani and Green were ahead of him.
Yeah, yeah, but talking about Lombard and guys like Russ, these are guys that were playing Super Rugby, at the time,
Yeah,
at the stage. So you would expect that they should be at that level. Okay, yes, injuries and all of that, but man, come on, these should be your more experienced guys, that can get you those results. I mean, they've been there for so long. So yeah, look, it's not looking good, and going to the end of the season, I think how many games are left? What, six, 8 games left.
yeah.
It's very difficult to see, the Lions, contending at this point where they are.
We're done. We were done from the moment that they decided that they're not gonna play low, they're not gonna play no hamba. These guys are guys that it'll never make sense. You're paying them every week. You're still paying them. So play them. Even
Use
that
them.
there's that whole argument of people saying, no, you must play the guys that are invested in the team. No, my man, this is a job. They're paying them to play.
Yeah,
They must play.
use the
While they're there,
resource.
use the resources.
Mm,
It's very childish that they're not using them. So
mm,
I
mm.
think personally for me, once the decision was made. Because I mean, we were second in the log at one stage. They were
Yeah,
still in the rotation. They were still in the
yeah,
rotation, and they were still there and
yeah,
thereabout.
yeah,
But Volater was playing, but they were still coming in and out of the team. If they carried on doing that, we would have been more successful. But
yeah. I
I
think
guess
so
it is
too.
it is what it is. It's a policy. They did it to Hendrickson. They did it to Zitoli. I think even I read back on the Odendal one, kind of like his final game,
Mm.
they didn't play the guy. They didn't give him a send off. So it's just it's a childishness. It's a childish. There's plenty of players now that I mean we knew Daimani was gonna leave the Stormers. The guy was still
But he
playing.
played.
We knew
Mm.
even now they're saying Felila Rue might leave. He's still
He
gonna
still
play.
played. Yeah, they're using
You
the
know.
resource because that's what they need.
Yeah. So it's just another story there by the Lions. But
Yeah,
yeah, we move on. Moving on. Cardiff versus the Sharks. Coming into this one,
hey,
Hooker and Julius
hey,
was. that was like the talk of the coming in, that the center partnership is a potential Bok one. I think it was also looking at Van Veek and Jonker, and looking at Hooker and Julius. It was a bit of a conversation before the match.
Yeah, look, I think those that's definitely the future for the Sharks, in terms of those two. I think from an attacking point of view, the Sharks, they can do it.
Yeah,
And this past weekend against Cardiff, it was a tricky one, because of the tempo that Cardiff play with, and especially when they get front foot ball,
yeah.
and also just the Sharks defense it has been and is still very suspect, especially on the outside channels, because
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. There's so much space out wide, and it was so
mm,
easy that once they identified that there's
yeah,
space out wide, you can go with the cross
mm,
kick. You can go with, if you beat them on the press with their
yeah,
hands, then you're going to
yes,
find the space every time. And I know there's been a lot said about Jordan Hendricks's defense, especially at 10. They're
mm-mm,
like, that's why he got selected for the box and so on and so forth, putting stats out there, putting this and that. When he's playing fullback, he's terribly defensively.
yeah, yeah,
He's
and
done
he,
terribly.
he he has, although I think there's been one game where he's been solid enough, but I just think it's more a system thing, because they it's repeated, it's repeated. Where guys are shooting out. Yeah, maybe like on those past weekend, maybe 1, 2 out of 10 times where they managed to close the space, but for the most part, that game was in the balance. For the
Yeah.
most part, that game was in the balance, and Cardiff were knocking, and well, it just one blow and it could have switched everything. But then
Yeah.
I think the desperation of the Sharks, I think, especially after the previous weekend, because yeah, look, the previous weekend was just a disaster, and they needed to do something, and they did, so I'll give them credit there. The work rate of the pack, I think they worked really hard, especially trying to get them that front foot ball, and also in the tight exchanges, yes. But then as soon as Cardiff, we're moving that ball wide, or looking at those spaces out wide, it just, yeah, look, a better team on a different day. That's not a Sharks
Yeah.
win, but I'll take it because of the result from the previous weekend. It's URC, but the guys are. We're still within the chance. We have a chance.
Yeah.
And it's just now. It's got to be. You have to win everything. For the rest of the season. That's the
Yeah.
2 week break. Now they come back. They got to face the Bulls. Got to do a job, but then do a job at Ellis Park. After that. So yeah, look, you just have to be happy with the win. But I think there's a lot of system things that need to be fixed with the Sharks, especially defensively.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I'm too hard on Hendricks, or maybe it is a system thing. My thing is that also, in terms of attack,
Mm.
the Sharks are always going to win this game. They just had too much. I think even the bench played a big role once you got the arms and the fences coming on.
Yes,
For me, it's almost like the Bulls game. They just had too much in terms of personnel, in terms of everything that they have there. For
and how
me,
good is Mapimpi?
yeah, Mapimpi, he had a few game-breaking moments there. For me,
That
also,
last the try where he
that
ran
try,
off,
that try, because they were within one score.
yeah, that was crucial. And he came off his wing.
Yeah,
He was he just epitomized and showed why he is
yeah.
why he is a Bok, why he is who he is. So a lot of things to like from the individuals, but then I just for me collectively, especially defensively, that's where the issue is.
And what I will also say is, besides defensively, on attack, Cardiff were more clever. If you looked at the
Mm,
things that they were doing, they
mm,
were less of a team, but they were more imaginative. They were
yeah,
more, there were more plays. There was more thinking. There was more, there was that thing. They were always going to
yeah,
lose. But I mean, even in the commentators' voices, you could hear the excitement when they were going blow for blow with the Sharks, and they were keeping
yeah.
up, and there was moments of magic. They were the more exciting team. And that's my
Mm,
thing that disappoints me about the Sharks, is that, I mean, yes, you want to get the job done, you want to get a win, but it's like, where's the imagination? Where's the playing?
yeah,
Where are the skills?
yeah. Where's
Because
the
it
yeah,
was a bit untidy. Even I
yeah.
think it was the first try. It was. broken play, drop ball, Hendrickson then to Julius. But it's
Yeah,
like there's no. We want to see something. We want to
the
see something. We also want
creativity.
to be entertained. We also want. So that's
Mm,
and I guess it also comes to that thing of a coach getting more out of lesser players.
yeah,
Where this is a coach that's not getting enough out of better players.
yeah,
That was my takeaway in the
yeah.
attacking sense.
Yeah, yeah. Look, you couldn't have said it better myself, Quarters. Because you saw it. You get the ball in the hands of Hooker or
Yeah,
Julius in space. You get to see that attacking threat. The skill
yeah,
sets are there. Now it's just. I mean, even like you say, the lack of creativity. Bringing in, trying to look. I understand you're trying to bringing in, your wingers into the game, but for me in this game, Penley was like ineffective. It really didn't. He looked like he wasn't there, and especially defensively on his wing. It disappeared. You know, then that's
yeah,
why I say there's a lot of system issues. That they need to fix, especially defense, but also they need to sharpen up that creativity on attack. I agree with you there. Especially going into. I think this is to challenge, for places in the knockout. So yeah, they
yeah.
have a job on their hands, but look, I think they can still do it. Yeah. Although I'll still say, yes, Fenta and those guys and Arm, but for me, you didn't need to take Hooker. I mean, you didn't need to put Fenta on. Like
Yeah.
and move Hooker to the wing. Yes, it worked out because that one great chase that he did, that he had on the wing. But yeah, look, me, I'm over Franz Fent. I've been over him for a while, so yeah, so, but happy with the result. Take it.
Yeah, moving on, Leinster versus Stormers, strong team for the Stormers. There was a storm that actually changed the referee in this game, and that's where I feel like it was won and lost. An
Hometown,
Irish referee had to
hometown.
come. Yeah, and they can try and say, no, this referee is
Uh-uh.
from the Munster region, this referee is from
Aye,
the Ulster region.
he's
For
Irish.
me, my thing is it's not even about having a ref from the country. I personally I don't mind, but you
Mm.
had a ref that he didn't know what was going on at scrum time. So essentially that killed the
Yeah,
game
yeah.
because what you've got going on now is you've got a competition where both sides, it was a weakened Leinster side, like half of their guys are involved in Six Nations stuff. So, but they still had a few good guys. Now you've got a thing where both sides are competing, but the Stormers can never get relief from a scrum. So
Mm.
every single scrum, it's blown a free kick against them or penalty against them. They're just going to be defending the whole time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
And you
it
can't
it
defend for
essentially
80
killed it
minutes.
because I mean at I think it was 40 minutes it was 8-10.
Mm.
And then they scored before halftime, and then that's when they just went away with the whole. But the whole reason why they scored was because there was a scrum, and then there was a change of possession, and then it's like you can only defend for so long. It's also
Yeah,
in the rain, slippery conditions. The
and it's
lineouts were
away.
bad. The scrums, you're just getting these calls against you. Then Lubbock goes off. It's the game was there. They could have
Yeah,
done a thing. They really
yeah,
could have done a thing, but because of that those refereeing decisions, it totally killed it as a contest. And then
yeah. It did.
you've got the whole line out situation that my thing is also everybody's gonna blame Dweber, but Dweber can't catch he can't throw the line out and catch the ball.
And catch
There's
them.
guys
Yeah.
that weren't catching. The
Mm.
locks weren't catching. There was a time for Mark didn't catch. Then Hugo Fenter comes on and he also makes the same mistakes. So it's easy to
Yeah.
blame Dweber, but if you actually watch the game and see, there's other
No, we
culprits involved. It's the whole
we
lineout
stand with
system.
Dweber. Stand with Dweber in these difficult times. No, no, they can't do that. They can't. You just can't. And you're right. You have to look at it holistically and look at what's going on, and you see that. Look, maybe
Yeah,
it's the play call, maybe it's the footwork of the ground, or maybe sometimes just simplify things.
yeah,
To secure your ball. And I think we also saw that even with the Sharks game when you only had one lock, really genuine lock playing, and and yeah, it's just about the person, the receivers or jumpers taking responsibility, or the lineup caller taking responsibility as well. It's not just solely on the hooker. So yeah, man, they must leave him alone for now.
Yeah, beyond that, I mean, there isn't really much to say. They didn't have a 10 replacement, so now Lubbock goes
Yeah,
off. Rocha had to play 10, but he can't play 10. So
no,
you
he's not a
had
10.
like Gelant trying to play 10 and play fullback at the same time, and then you're playing with like three centers. Because Similani came
Yeah,
on. It just didn't work at all,
yeah,
but like past that period of time. But like I said, at 40 minutes, it's 8 minutes, what, 8 to 10, you're still in the game. Eight to
still in the
10,
hunt.
you're still there. You're still there. But
Mm, mm.
it is what it is. It is what it is. I
It
had to
is.
tear up a betting slip there. I won't lie. I was looking to cash
Hey,
in.
10
I
years,
was looking
Phillips.
to cash in.
Hey, man. Oh, look. But genuinely, because it was there, it really was
Yeah.
there. I thought that the Stormers could do something as well. So yeah, look, hard luck, but you know what? It's a bit of a long road for them now to also climb that ladder. Them and the Lions, I think they're pretty close
Yeah.
to each other. So it's a long road, and the season, the clock is ticking, and it's all about they got to get the wins. But it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any
Yeah.
easier going
I
from
think
here.
even for me, beyond everything that's happened, I think Malherbe pulled out of that game.
Mm.
Lobok is injured. Nokia is injured. Elric Lowe is injured. Hanukom was injured, then not injured. So that's also a thing that's happened in this weekend is where you've got like five box where
Yeah,
you know that's one of my main takeaways from this weekend is that the injuries seem to be piling up, and
yeah.
I know we're
It's
long time for the next Bok game, but it wasn't a good weekend
concerning.
from that perspective.
It is concerning as well, but is it some of them? Is it also the 4G pitches? I think there's other questions, because
Mm,
guys are used to playing on grass, and then for 80% of the time, then 20% is 4G. Those
yeah.
factors there are okay. The Ulrich Loh injury it was unfortunate. It wasn't nice. Geez, it
Mm,
didn't look good, but you know what? At the same time, yes, like you say, long way from the next block game, but there's opportunities for a lot of guys, where in this run in to finish off the sort of round robin of URC, the guys have got an opportunity to stake a claim, and hopefully our teams can climb that ladder. We can have more teams contending, not just because I think the Bulls and the Sharks are right up there, so.
mm.
I think the Stormers, the next hope is maybe the Stormers, to try and knock somebody out of a position there, But yeah, it's a tough ask for that to happen.
Yeah, any closing remarks from you?
We just gotta love the URC. You have to love the URC, man. Like you saw the Lions Bulls game, you just the stadium was full. Okay, the Sharks got the result away from home. Unlucky Stormers, but URC is back. We go into the park pretty soon. As the
Yeah,
Sharks. I'm looking forward to that game, Lions Sharks. But also, I think one that I also want to see is the Stormers Lions. I'm very interested in seeing that. I think that's where we'll see exactly. I think whether or not the Stormers are gonna get somewhere for me, and
yeah,
also at the same time with the Lions, to see how serious they are about their life, in
yeah,
URC. Because this should be the bread and butter tournament. Europe, we understand it's a different challenge,
yeah,
but this one, yeah, they got to do better. Mm.
yeah. I need to do better. Six Nations also coming up, but hey, me,
Nah,
I barely care about it. But I'll
I'm
I'll, I'll
not
try and
invested
I'll
in that one.
try, I'll try and get invested. I'll try
No,
and
no, I don't
watch
have
one or
shares
two.
there. I don't have shares there. No, I don't. I
Yeah, I think that's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
we are.